And I am going to try to race over and vote. I am going to ask unanimous consent that statements from the George W. Bush Institute and Bill Gates be put into the record without objection.
Thank you. Director Vogt, welcome.
Thank you.
As we've heard today, rescissions are a long-standing feature of the appropriations process, and that this committee routinely includes rescissions in its annual funding bills, correct?
Yes, Senator.
For example, the most recent appropriations bill enacted by this committee included 162 rescissions totaling over $60 billion in previously appropriated funding. That's over 6 times the amount proposed in the rescission request that we're reviewing today. To be clear, the rescissions request we're debating today is straightforward. It's simple. And the examples that you provided underscore a gross misuse of taxpayer funding. Now I want to turn to a different issue. It's one that's crucial to America's long-term competitiveness, in my view. If we want our nation to remain a global hub for innovation and for economic growth, we must ensure that our research institutions have the ability to compete on the international stage. And that starts with examining how we fund these research institutions. It's important to recognize that life-saving biomedical research can, if properly managed, be a key driver of our nation's strategic advantage in science and technology. I'm fully supportive, as I know this administration is, in ensuring that every dollar entrusted to us by the taxpayer is used efficiently, especially when it comes to research on these activities. We must ensure that these valuable funds are focused on advancing scientific research and not wasted on administrative expenses. One particular area that has received considerable attention is the use of grant funding for so-called indirect costs and overhead. I'm a businessman. It wouldn't be the first time that I've seen all kinds of costs classified as, quote, indirect cost. However, when we take a closer look at what is being defined as indirect cost, in this circumstance, it can often include expenses like personnel, like hazardous waste disposal, secure data storage. In many cases, these costs aren't unrelated luxuries. They may well be essential to our ability to conduct safe and high-quality research that gives America a competitive advantage against the world. So, Director Vogt, my question is this. As the administration looks at ways to make sure taxpayer funds are efficiently and effectively used on research and not on bloated overhead, do you believe there's room to work with Congress, and with this committee in particular, to make sure we get it right when it comes to accounting for activities that are mission-critical to research and those that are truly wasteful or overly bureaucratic, in a way that provides transparency to the public, to the Congress, and to OMB, and to do so without stifling American innovation?
Absolutely, Senator, and I appreciate the question. I know this is a priority for both you and the chair. Much of my time right now is being spent with university presidents, chancellors of systems, to get a handle on the extent to which, and quite frankly, they have come forward and said, look, we know there's an issue. We can't continue to receive 40 to 50% for indirect cost rates when Bill Gates pays out 10% from the Gates Foundation. So we are working through a guidance on that, and we'll continue our work, and we'll do it in close collaboration with this committee and you.
Thank you, Director Vogt. I must say I've had a number of those conversations. I doubt as many as you have. But in those conversations, what I've also found is that the federal government imposes certain requirements on research institutions, reporting requirements, compliance requirements that they can't even explain, nor do they understand the logic behind them. Many of them are redundant, overlapping, or just a royal pain in the you-know-what. And so I applaud any effort that we might also undertake to try to streamline those costs, to try to make this as efficient and effective as we possibly can. So I'm a firm believer that the federal government can learn a great deal from the private sector when it comes to efficiency, when it comes to return on investment, and streamlining is one of those opportunities as well. And I still believe that there are inefficiencies in our research enterprises, don't get me wrong. But I also believe that we must have accurate and transparent accounting so that we can appropriately balance our shared goals of physical discipline and life-saving research. Thank you very much, Director Vogt.
Thank you.